Hey everybody, back Sunday evening, a little bit later than I expected thanks to unexpected cable and internet box change out. They had some stuff at the local substation changed over, and we didn't know that was coming, so I am on now, and just sharing this with the page real quick. There we go. Okay, cool. Now, I'm going to be knocking this one out. It's going to be a little interesting because, to tell you the truth, I don't draw a realism style at all, and I am so digging on this, getting to draw this in my style for you guys. So it's going to be cool. I'm hoping it's going to be fun, and we're going to knock this out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the fedora in the background here and get that kind of going. Like worst fedora ever, but that's okay. It's just comics, so we can deal with that. I'm kind of drawing this rim here. Yeah, this is one of my favorite characters. I have all of these things on DVD, and I watch them quite frequently, actually, way more than I probably should for a healthy a healthy existence. But I love horror films. Love this guy. He is crazy. Robert Englund, I haven't had a chance to meet him yet, but I tell you what, it is on the bucket list, and I'm hoping I make it before he stops appearing completely. He was at a couple of things last year that I had the opportunity to go to, and they got sidetracked due to business stuff that I had to get out of the way. So that unfortunately did not happen. But yeah, I'm hoping to get to before he stops showing and stuff. And I know he's got some stuff coming up with his new art gallery showing and whatnot, and I'm hoping to get in on that and check him out and, you know, get to say hello. But yeah, it's just crazy, man. Got a couple of things going on right now, as you guys know, and it's keeping me a little tied up, and not in a fun way. It's just keeping me, you know, swamped constantly. Just one of those things where everything is getting out there. But anyway, got to make this match up in my style here. And like I said, this is not going to be true to form by any means. We're going to see exactly how it turns out together. When I started on this venture, I did not intend to do anything remotely close to what I have done already with all the cards and stuff. And you guys took off with it and ran with it, and it's phenomenal, man. I love doing this stuff, and thank you so much for all the support and stuff. And as of yesterday, I realized that I was really, really tired. That was an odd one, but it was fine, you know. Got the Battletoads finished up, and got that set added to the card series. So yay us! And got the preview page up for the old Kickstarter yesterday. I'm going to be releasing that this week, so you guys hang tight with that, because it's going to be a blast. I guarantee it. I've got some really cool stuff going on. Got some t-shirts and things like that involved, and you guys are going to be able to get all that cool stuff. So it's going to be fun. But as for a Sunday evening, this is normally my slow night when I draw these cards. You guys just take up the family time and do your own thing, and that's perfectly cool with me. So, you know, thanks for hanging out with me if you're hanging out with me, and we'll knock this card out and have some fun and go from there. Gonna be posting a bunch of how-tos on the YouTube channel and here on Facebook, and I'm gonna be doing that on oh goodness, I don't want to give out a date yet because I didn't lock it in, but I'm going around the 15th or so, and we're getting all that material ready for you guys to have that come out and learn how to draw comics and make your first book and whatnot, because I get asked that all the time. I really do. I get hounded about that all the time. That is probably, other than how I got to the top of YouTube, that's the second most asked question, comic related wise. So that's one of those things, where everything comes into play. And with my books coming out and whatnot, everybody asks me all the time. It's just, hey man, how do you do comic books? And when are you going to put more stuff out? Why did you do it so slowly? It's because of the fact that I promised a full schedule of freelance and took off for a while. And now I'm going into regular monthly publication with this first issue of Lone Rider and Catman Evolution number 4. That's going to be hitting direct to e-comics and print on demand. So that's going to be awesome. I'm not pitching or anything. I'm just chatting here. Don't want you guys to freak out. It's like, stop it, man. You're selling to us. Quit it. You're scaring me. You're making money jump out of my wallet. But no, that's not the point here. Because right before the show, I got asked, are you going to post anything this week about, the Kickstarter and all that? And yes, I am. I am. I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. And as far as the poll goes, thank you guys for the 1 or 2 people that actually did it. Kidding. For the poll stuff, I have a couple of options that are getting really hot responses, and I appreciate that. And I will be doing some of that stuff for you this coming week. And I have to put that on the schedule for Thursday or Friday so that we can either have Godzilla or Optimus Prime or Freddy and Jason. That's going to be pretty fun. Now, whenever I come up with this stuff, whenever I do something that's been, film-based or already been created to the point to where it's been maxed out, because that series is just like, doesn't need to be messed with. It's classic horror and, especially gore horror, and doesn't need to be toyed with by, reboots and all that. And I'm hoping it doesn't get picked up again. I know they did the Origins with A Nightmare on Elm Street, which I loved. It was awesome for what it was. It was Freddy's origin, and I'm cool with that. But I wish they would leave it alone. I really do. Robert Englund is a little, I don't want to say old by any means, but he's not who they want for the character anymore. And that's unfortunate because of the fact that he's still got the chops. I've seen him online and stuff, and I think he could play Freddy again if he wanted to. But with his paintings and stuff coming out, I very seriously doubt he's going to pick up the mantle again. Just one of those things. But, it is what it is. So we're going to have to go from there and see what comes of it. Now, as far as Freddy comes with this comic book type of look, everybody likes to make, England, the persona of Freddy or whatever, and I don't like to do that. What I like to do is I used to like to draw my version of Freddy all the time, and I did this like day and night for years on end, literally. And I would do that with the superheroes as well. But whenever I would draw Freddy, I would specifically make him not look like England, but look like if he was my comic book character and a creation of my own. And I challenge you guys to start doing that with a lot of these icons, because it's just one of those things where the film properties are maxed out, and they've been working with the character actors that play the characters so long, they just trap it. You know what I mean? And if you're building something and you want to build something original and tweak it a little bit and make your own version of that character, why not? Why not? You know what I mean? I'm not saying plagiarize or steal or, do anything crazy like that. What I'm saying is, if you want to get licensing, like Dark Horse has licensing for a bunch of this stuff, and IDW constantly gets licensings for films and things like that, what I recommend is going to one of those publishing companies and pitching something. If you want to see a movie property go into the whole thing of, Freddy this or Jason that or Alien this, write those series and get them out there and start these movie properties into a huge franchise, and put your writing chops to it if that's what you want to do. If you want to be the next Wes Craven or, whatever. But as far as the film goes, I really don't like the way they're doing them. And I mean, that's just a personal thing. But, because they're talking about bringing Freddy back and this, that, and the other, and having different actors and actresses play him, and even have a gender swap at one point. And I was just like, please don't do that. Don't mess with Freddy. Please leave Freddy alone. But we'll see, I mean, this kind of deal is really picky. And as you guys know, I'm a purist when it comes to these type of characters, because I don't want to be the one to be messing with them and stuff, and I don't want everybody else to mess with them either. But if you have an original idea, though, on the same token, though, on the other side of it, kick it out there and see what you can do in a comic book format, and bring in a new original approach to it that doesn't jack it up, that pays homage to the original without, coming across and really jacking it to where you can't recognize what it is. So it's a fine line on either way. But, I just don't think that the films are holding up the way that the new films are holding up the way that the originals did. And the 80s slasher movie is going to come back. I can guarantee it. It's already in the works with a bunch of stuff coming out in 2018 from what I've seen. And I really like the idea of the slasher movie coming back. But we'll see. It's one of those things. It's weird. It's just one of those deals where you see, this movie or that movie, and it's just, come on. Insidious is really doing well with the thriller films right now, but I want to see a good slasher movie, I mean, they've done like Saw 20 at this point, and it's gone way beyond what Nightmare on Elm Street did in the thriller gore, but I'm just looking for a good 1980s style slasher film that really doesn't come back yet, and looking for the next generation to really pull it together. And I would love to see it come together in a comic book instead of on film, just to make it different, just to do something different and to make a different impact in the industry, because that nostalgia would make it in comics, where on the big screen I don't think it would last, because that new version, like I said, I loved it, but it was just odd in the fan response. And I'm thinking that, a lot of people like me and my age range are using comics and looking for something to fill that old school gap that we just don't have anymore with a lot of this stuff. And I'm trying to make sure that, a lot of people step up and say, okay, if you want to create something, come out and create it, and stop, jacking around with all this other stuff in the sidelines, and create something that can stand out. I saw a book that was an independent proposal, which I can't mention, but I tell you, there's some really, really cool horror writers out there, and we need to bring that to light and start enjoying that. And I'm not saying comics are going strictly to horror. I'm saying everybody has a place. I'm a superhero writer and a sci-fi and action adventure writer, but if you read my stuff, it's basically crime drama. I mean, that's pretty much what you're looking at as a whole. But I do it through sci-fi and through, other stuff, a lot of paranormal stuff and superhero stuff. But as far as horrors go, we don't have any good horrors out there. We really, really don't in comics. I've got a friend, Ron. He writes a bunch of macabre stuff, but it's 1950s and 60s style. But I would love to see a proposal from someone for a good horror comic, because I love a good scare. And if you can give me a page turner, I might even negotiate something out to publish it for you through one of my sister banners, because my company, Firestone Comics, has a couple of other sub-banners that I use for independent creators that don't necessarily fit into the Firestone universe, because Firestone's self-contained, sorry. I am very limited on who I let into that. But Throwvault and a couple of others that are out there would definitely hold up to what you guys are doing independently. And I would love to see some cool stuff come out. I have not yet seen a horror comic since The Walking Dead, and it's not even a horror comic as much as it is paranormal, maybe science fiction. I don't know what Image holds it as, but I don't see it as a horror comic. I just don't. It doesn't hold that edge for me. But I could be mistaken, it could be something crazy out there and change up, and I know it's based off of an homage to Romero and, those guys that did the zombie stuff, but we'll see what happens. And if you guys can come up with something awesome, show it to me and I'll put you in touch with the right people to possibly get it out there, because it's one of those things. It's just, I'm craving a really good horror comic, and it's just not in existence right now, as far as I'm concerned. Halloween's got me thinking. Let's put it that way. And with the new changeover with Marvel and DC, with their upswing in books going digital and going virtual and all that mess they've got going on, it's a hard sell, It really is. It's a hard sell. I would love to see someone come up with a really great comic that turns and burns for the fans and holds up in the horror genre, but I have yet to see it. Now, I know I made Freddy here look a little Deadpool-esque with his lines and whatnot, but hey, burns on the human form only works so far. So, and I'm gonna go ahead and black that out because those eyeballs just look weird. In my cartoony style, they just look strange. It almost looks like a parody. So, got to go ahead and do these wicked, nasty, gnarly teeth that Freddy has, and get those all in there and done. And the funny thing is his tongue isn't burnt. Have you ever noticed that? His tongue's not burnt. Burned all of his body, but his tongue's not burnt. Go figure. You'd think being engulfed in fire would do that, but no. Not Fred. No. And you guys have to post for me and comment and tell me what you want to see tomorrow, because I've got a bunch of stuff coming up and I just want to see what you guys want to see. I want to see what you guys want to see in these cards. So let me know what's going on with that, because this is going to be a fun deal. And if I do the, just so you know, if you do vote on my page for the Freddy versus Jason stuff, I will be looking at moving into a little bit more of a England style Fred. But right now I'm just having fun with it. Crossed his eyes, got him blowing up his thumb, kind of skirting around like bleh, you know, rather than making it hardcore, because so many people just want to draw the nasty, you know, the nasty horror, scary stuff. But with the youngsters that I have on my lives right now, I would rather not do that. So I want to have a fun experience, because I had to promise that I'd keep it PG for everybody. So, because you know, parents were asking me yesterday whenever I said, you know, Fred was coming on, they were like, do we not need to have the kids watch? I was like, no. It's okay. It's okay. So, because there's so many of the youngsters that watch. I've got probably 8 or 9 young people, young artists, and you guys are awesome. So if you're watching right now, I know this is kind of late, but if you're watching this tomorrow, whenever you get back up after school or whatever, you know, you guys are awesome. Keep drawing, and I want to see what you're doing this week. You know, with Inktober going on, show me what you got. You know, show me what you got. I would feel honored and happy and blessed to be able to see what you guys have going on. I would be more than happy to review a bunch of that stuff for you and see what you got. And who knows, you know, some of it may make it to the page, and I may share, you know, some of the fan stuff that you guys are doing. Adults as well, you know. If you want to send me some stuff, send it to me and we'll see. If it makes the cut as the one that I pick, then awesome. I'll share it. I have no problem supporting it. Community over competition every time, whether it's marketing, comics, social media, whatever. That's my thing. You know, I want to help put it out there and help you guys out. And if that's cool, then awesome. I'll be more than happy to do that. But if not, that's okay too. Because I had an artist tell me Friday that he couldn't be friends with me anymore because of the fact that I was going in a different direction. You know, that's like the 5th person that's told me that this week. I was just like, whatever, you know, best to you, and moving on. But, you know, I hear that all the time. It's not the end-all, be-all type of situation. So, you know, it's Facebook friends. And I don't take that lightly because of the fact that there's a lot of people that I consider really, really cool friends that I've known for years via the internet. And I can count on them. And I know everybody says, you know, they're just Facebook friends, get rid of them. But in some regard, though, we communicate on a global scale these days, and to totally disregard someone that way is a little bit disrespectful, you know. So don't just throw your friends away just because you can, but keep positive relationships in your life. You know, there is a fine line and a big difference. And as I go along, I change up all the time. You know, if someone gets nasty or, you know, gets derogatory or whatever, I tend to not deal with that person. And if they get, you know, if their artwork doesn't reflect a positive influence, not by content, but necessarily by you know, or genre. But what I'm talking about is if they're, you know, a jerk about it, then I don't want to be associated with that person, because I don't want to be, you know, having that reputation of, you know, you're friends with that guy. And I don't want to be guilty by association with knowing, you know, that some of these guys are out here, you know, F-bomb this and F-bomb that and whatever, you know, you're drawing, and not caring about the content that's around, no matter what your genre is, caring about the content of what, you know, youngsters are seeing, where you do it at. I mean, there's a time and place for all that, but it is what it is. So, and this is just generic conversation tonight, guys. I'm not being too serious here. It is Sunday evening, and as you know, my Sunday casts are kind of relaxed at best as I crunch on my throat drop of the evening to keep it to where I can talk to you guys without coughing, because I was outside quite a bit today, and my allergies are killing me. But it is what it is. So, oh, there's that dreaded phrase again. Darn. But yeah, this is one of those things where I got on, and this week I went through a bunch of training and updating and programming and whatnot, and I fried my nugget. Um, I am so tired, and not that I'm going on a rant or anything. I'm just saying, don't overdo that. I constantly preach study, 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 learn, 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 because the more you know, the more you're going to be able to do, and the better options you'll have. I tell students and clients alike all the time, but this week I actually went through, I think it was 11 courses. I just finished 2 more this afternoon, so I went through 11 audiobooks, books that I read, things like that, all week long, and I'm constantly reading something. If I don't read at least a book a day, I'm 5 times a week, I get to where I don't feel like I accomplished anything. And this week I just doubled up because I was wanting to push through for research for some stuff that I'm doing with the new stuff that I'm putting out. And boy, did I ever overload. Don't do that. You will hit rock bottom really quick, because they say you should listen to like classical music or whatever. And one of my mentors, Brian Tracy, says you should listen to classical music while you write. And the dude's awesome. I've actually had the honor of talking to him once or twice, and he's phenomenal. And yeah, he writes stuff all the time, constantly. He writes 4 or 5 books a year, literally, and everything the dude touches turns to gold and is like a bestseller. And having him as a mentor is just a blessing in itself. And he's got a big thing of listening to classical music and working like 3 or 4 hours on your writing is all you should do without taking a break. And then you should move forward with, coming back and whatnot afterward. But not me, boy. I strapped in for 12 hours, took a break for lunch, took a break for my workout, and, to move around a little bit, of course, but because I have a rule of thumb where I work 45 on and 10 to 15 off every hour so that I don't kill myself with a blood clot, giving me like a stroke or whatever, being an artist. That's very commonplace. I don't want to do that. So instead, I like to get up about 15 minutes out of every hour and stand and work a little bit or walk around a little bit, that kind of thing. But I hunkered down this last week and worked and ended up overloading myself. Even the best of us can make a mistake. I am only human. So, that's one of those things. If you're getting into all this stuff and building up a website or whatever you're doing, be sure and take those breaks, because you'll pay for it. And it was a rough fallout because I'm still not right. It takes a minimum of 24 hours to correct your brain after you've been exposed to a lot of hard study. And that's the reason, college kids crash so hard, is because of the fact that they study and study and study and study and study and study, and that's all they do. And when you do that, you have to go off and understand that you have to take a breather and get out and see some people. And if you don't, you end up falling off and, going critical. A buddy of mine, Johnny, he had a stroke recently, and that's a shocker. That's a shocker. It's a dude that's in his 30s, and you know who you are, man. I'm not going to rat you out, but he posted all about it and stuff, and that's something that made me stop and think. I was just like, really? That's one of those things where you just have to stop and think and understand that you can screw yourself up by trying to do so much better and pushing too hard just as much as you can not pushing hard enough. And I had to back up a little bit this weekend and take a reprieve. And you guys will have me fresh and fully recharged tomorrow. So I'm going to have a blast with that. But yeah, if you're working hard like that, man, be sure and take your breaks and stuff, because if you don't, you're going to pay for it big time. Luckily for me, mine was just a an exhaustion thing or a mental lapse where I couldn't shut down and couldn't stop thinking or doing or whatever. But yeah, that stuff can get serious, man. And to my cousin Mike, this is one of his favorite characters. He's a horror buff as I am. Mike Duke, if you're watching, buddy. You know, I doubt you are, because you got married less than an hour ago and I could not make it, unfortunately. Shout out to you, man. Love you, brother. That's just one of those things, man. I tried to make it for you guys. I'm happy for you and Dawn and, excuse me, Amber Dawn. I don't want to mispronounce that because the family calls her Dawn, but I don't want to say that. But anyway, you know, Amber's a great girl and she's changed his world. I know he's very happy right now, and that's awesome. Just wanted to give him a quick shout out to the family. So, and I don't talk family much, but you know, that's a cool one to think about. The dude tied the knot today, tied the knot. But anyway, gonna be knocking this out. Now, I'm not going to go too far with Freddy's detail here because on the sweater, the dude does not have, like, it doesn't show, it's a wool sweater for one, and it doesn't show a lot of, like, pecs or anything like that, a lot of definition, okay? So don't go, you know, drawing in huge amounts of stuff. Just put in a light shadow, kind of, you know, cross hatch it a little bit or feather it a little bit and go from there, and just kind of leave it open, because it's not going to be true to form, and I don't want it to be true to form because of the fact that, like I said, I don't want it to be carving in pecs or anything weird like that. What I'm doing here is just adding a shadow, like right here in the middle. That will break it up a little bit. And one thing I like to do too is this little lightning, I don't know if you guys can see this, I'm going to make sure. This little lightning bolt thing. Oh, yeah, thanks, Alfred. I just looked over and saw the chat, sorry. I like to do this little lightning bolt thing on fabric and then do this to show kind of the fabric braiding, to show the stitches. And you can do them at any angle, and just 2 or 3, 4, something like that, little hooks, and then go across like this, and it shows like it's a fabric, like a sweater. It's large stitches, that kind of thing. It works really well on rugs too. But you have to do it at random, and you can't do it too often because then it'll look weird and look out of place. So don't do that. But 2 or 3 of those, we're good to go. All right. Now, so his hand doesn't look, because I was going to start this out this way. I was going to put the strap here across the bottom, so his hand doesn't look like a butt. I'm going to break this up a little bit and black this out so you guys have that buckle strap. And what we'll do is we'll put half a button there so that it separates that a little bit. I don't want that to look weird, but I like the idea of the lazy eyes kind of looking like, yeah, you know, it's a humorous thing. It's not, this is a humorous Freddy. This is not a scary Freddy. I don't want to scare the youngsters. So you guys, you know, be easy on me here. Be light. Be easygoing, and I'll go ahead and put in like the lower lids and kind of make it a little creepy, but not too much, because I know this is like really overkill with these eyes. And like I said, I want to make it light, so I need to put Funny Freddy in front of it. That way you guys know he's kind of funny and not being weird with the whole eye thing. I might even, when I ink this, I might even tone these down a little because they look a little broad right now. But gonna flesh out this leather a little bit, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, that Iron Man, what I was going to say about the Iron Man Band-Aid. I had Hulk on yesterday. I have Iron Man on today. What happened was a cuticle tear accident. It ripped completely across. It looked bad. It looked like it would belong in one of these movies. So that's the reason for the Iron Man Band-Aid. Thanks for noticing. But yeah, it beat strawberry shortcake. You know, my daughter, I happened to have some Marvel Band-Aids, obviously. And then my daughter had, because I keep little ones around for paper cuts and stuff, and my daughter had some My Little Pony, and she had some strawberry shortcake, and I'm like, oh, please let me still have a couple of Marvel ones. So I didn't have to wear a brownie or strawberry shortcake. Yeah, but I'm man enough. I would have pulled it off. That's not a problem. You know, I love my kid, and if she wanted to help me with a bandage, I definitely would have worn it with pride. I have done it before. Um, I don't know. I'm one of those dads that I don't mind things like that. My daughter is. I just love that kid to death, and um, I'm one of those dads that, let her stick. When my head was bald, I would let her stick ribbons, tape them to the side of my head, the little sticker bows that she had. She would stick them on me and things like that. And then, I've had my fingernails painted a few times. It's just a dad thing. It's what you do, And if you're man enough to wear nail polish for your daughter, you're man enough to be a good dad. That's what I say. Because there's no rejecting that kid. I give her the world as I can, and I know it's still not enough, but so if you have a problem with it, I'm sorry, but they're not going to yank my man card for it. I've got it firmly established from a good source that it's not going anywhere. I wear that badge with honor, so nail polish and all. But yeah, that's one of those things. The little Iron Man sticker is not a bad deal for me. It's better than having, freaking people out with what is underneath it. Note to self: don't tap on your wounds. It's one of those things where like I said, I just don't want to go all weird with what's underneath it and have it all showing, because it's not to mention the paper dust gets in there from my work all day, and I don't, my drawing and stuff, and I don't want to get anything on the art boards or whatever. It's just practical, common sense stuff. Put it away and don't freak people out with it, because it is a nasty one, unfortunately. But it is what it is, so I like it. Band-Aid Iron Man. That's what we have, folks. So now I'm going to go over here and put in a little bit more detail right up underneath this lid, because there's a little bit of a ridge right there. Even though you can't see it through the scarring as much, there is quite a creepy lid right there. This is one of my more detailed cards, apparently, for obvious reasons. And I'm going to put in a couple of things to make him stand out and just be a little more Freddy-like. I think the kids can handle a little bit more, so you guys can see what's going on with it, and we can move from there. I mean, Solomon Grundy was way worse than this, now that I think about it. So, but yeah, Freddy's cross-eyed, and I just thought I wanted to go fun with it. And now I'm going to put in this warped ear. By warped, I mean melted. Because he doesn't have real ears anymore. He has big globs of scarred flesh, unfortunately. Fred was a bad boy, so Fred got punished. And if you don't know who Freddy is, especially if you live in the States, you need to go check him out. If you like Saw or anything like that, go check this dude out, because he will give you a different kind of scare that a lot of people don't realize that he has the impact of. So, Fred's awesome. I know he scared the pants off of me when I was a kid. Mainly because he went after kids. I think that's a big part of it, is the fact that Fred always went after kids. And of course, the Fresh Prince lightened that mood. Um, Nightmare on My Street. You know, you guys may know um, Will Smith. You know, guy you may or may not have heard of once in a while. You know, he's done a couple of things throughout the years. Just a few that you may know. And one of his breakout songs was Ring My Bell, and another one was Nightmare on My Street. And if you guys haven't ever heard that, check that out. That's a fun laugh. Now, I'm going to put in one or two more of these, and we're going to call it a day because I've got to get a few more things done before I can call it a night and get some rest and get ready for tomorrow. Tell me what you guys want to see tomorrow. Do you want to see another Transformer? Do you want to see another horror character? What do you guys want to see tomorrow? And I'm going to put it on the list, and we're going to do free range guessing and cards for tomorrow. Oh, by the way, guys, special session in the way. I just want to let you guys know. Leia, I'm going to be doing a bunch of that cover tomorrow. I have held that cover back, and John is chomping at the bit, especially since he lost his computer. It failed, and he lost a bunch of the database of what covers he has and whatnot, and I need to get that one mailed out to him because those are on the way. But I held up because I wanted to do that one live for him to help with some more support during October, and with a couple cons that he's at and whatnot. And I just want to bring some more awareness to what's going on with the cancer help. So if you guys haven't bought, I'm not in any way a spokesperson for the comic book covers for cancer, but I will tell you this: it is a great cause. John backs up what he says. He really gives out the money to these people, to these cancer organizations, and they're all verifiable. He will give you a number of where and who he sends them to verify that the money does go to them. And the dude's awesome as far as that goes. So let's get that going and help him out by showing support for those. If you go to the site for, you can look him up, John Rogers, on Facebook and pretty much any other social media, and you can find his page for comic book covers for cancer. If you're an artist, get involved. If you're looking to help support and want a good charity to donate to, this dude's project is freaking phenomenal. Going to be coming out to help out with that one. And like I said, it's just one of those things. I want to see him break record boundaries this year. In 2017 and 2018, I want it to be even bigger. And I'm going to be doing a couple of things with helping John reach some new levels and talking to some people for that. So you guys keep an eye out on it. And if you get the chance to donate to something, donate to John in that cause, because, you know, I lost my sister to cancer, and I've lost many family members over the years to it. And I know a lot of people on here that I'm friends with have lost family members and are going through the process themselves. So let's draw attention to that and help out. Thank you very much. But let me know what you guys want me to draw tomorrow. Another horror picture, another Transformer, or another cartoon or comic character. I would love to see what you got. I have DC's Metal Men coming up and DC's Watchmen coming up. I want to do a few of those, and then I know I've got some more Transformer stuff coming up. And like I said, I want to save it for depending on the page that wins for those 3 big pages, what you guys vote on before I move into what is coming up next, just drawing them at random other than Freddy here, because I said I would do this because a friend asked for it, and that's what we got. I just thought, you know, I need a break in the monotony, and this is where we're at. Freddy's on page. So, but I'm not doing Inktober, so you guys, unfortunately, I'm sorry, I will not be doing Inktober, as I keep saying over and over. I keep getting asked why I won't do Inktober. The reason is because I want to get my comic books out to you guys by this fall, because it's just time to stop hiding and holding back, and, you know, doing small projects and holding off on the comics. I need to get them out there, and it's part of the promise to my sister. And like I said, I got some stuff going on, and need to jump it up. So that's where we're at. But anyway, here's Crazy Fred. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Do Mike Myers tomorrow. What do you think? Hey, Jim. Thanks for popping on, man. Adam, you too, bud. Yeah, I don't know. If you guys want me to do Mike Myers, let's pick. I'll put it out to you guys. For whoever watches the video tonight, I'll do it till noon tomorrow before I come on with the card sketch. And pick which one you want to see. Do you want to see Mike Myers tomorrow, or do you want to see Jason? So let's go from there, and we'll kick it out. But for right now, thank you very much. I'm going to wrap this up because I've been on for almost an hour tonight. And that's a little overkill for this card because I've been tinkering around with it and talking and whatnot. But thanks for hanging, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.